Good morning. Wendy, good morning. Chris Cynthia, I know my music.
Trump is gone. 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 I don't need no other words to this song. But Trump is gone.
Here it is. All right. Good morning, fam. Hey, clap it up, clap it up. Come on. Hey, 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 hey. Okay, let me calm down. I didn't have my music hooked up right. Good morning, family. Malik, what's going on, Deidre? Yeah, I didn't have my music hooked up right, but still. Hey. All right. So we're moving. What's up, fam? This morning, the audacity to live your best life. Obama had his book, The Audacity of Hope, but the audacity to live the life that you deserve. Right? Right? I was just thinking, Alice was like, why do you talk so loud? Why are you screaming? Because I'm fired up. We doing this. Anyway, Deidre. So, audacity, and I put the picture of Frederick Douglass. Fintress, how's it going? Because I think Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, talk about audacity, and say it. They lived a life. They wasn't supposed to be doing all that. African Americans were enslaved. Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass said, no, sir. Frederick Douglass, talk about speaking truth to power. He in Abraham Lincoln's ear. Yo, Abe, make it right. Let's do this, Abe. Quit being a punk. No disrespect. I know you and your boy be sleeping together. That ain't my business, Abe. Make it happen. This war need to pop off. Frederick Douglass. Audacity. So, Khalees, morning. Paul Porter with the golden pipes. Audacity. So, I come back to Frederick. You know, I got to share my little story. I be having my little stories, y'all. So, you know, growing up in Springfield, Illinois, capital city, 100,000 people, no black radio stations. When I graduated from high school, now, I knew I wanted to do radio. I knew I wanted to do media since I was in 3rd grade. So, I moved like I was gonna be Brian Gumble. What's up, Jock? You know, morning announcements. And I was the only child, so I think I was protected from a standpoint of I didn't have a whole bunch of negative energy around me. You know, I think when I look at Kanye West, I understand what happens. His parents, you know, built him to not be influenced by what other people think. Because if you do and you're only child, you're a black boy, that's going to end bad. So he moves with his own confidence and don't give a damn what the girls think, what his friends think, and will tell them. I wasn't Kanye West, but I understood. So when I wanted to do television, radio, be the next Brian Gumble, when I was in 3rd and 4th grade, I asked, can I do the announcements? They said yes. When I got to middle school, can I do the announcements? Yes. I don't know if the kids even asked to do the announcements. All I knew was I asked to do the announcements, and I did the announcements. I did the announcements at the beginning of the day. I did the announcements at basketball games. I did the announcements. And then when I had a chance to go to vocational school, even though vocational school was for kids who didn't plan to go to college, I did that too. So I'm in Springfield, Illinois. I'm doing these little announcements. You know, I'm doing these little things in media, getting my reps in. And, you know, my only concern was I felt like I'm ahead of the game. But I'm in Springfield, little small town, no black radio station. Them brothers from Chicago and those brothers from East St. Louis are killing me. So I went away to college after going to junior college and getting a job at a radio station as a board op. I go to college. What I found was it was kind of the same thing. I go to college as a junior. I'm thinking, oh, well, I'm behind everybody else. But what I didn't realize was people be chilling. Students be partying. So I go to college as a junior, tried out for television news, tried out for the college radio station, got a job at the top 40 radio station. Why? Because students weren't really participating. Who knew? So when I graduated, I wrote the letters. Now, I had no idea what I was doing as far as getting a job, but I wrote my letters. Dear, oh, you know what's funny is actually, I wrote these letters in high school when I graduated high school. I picked 3 of the state radio stations I wanted to work at. Magic 108 in St. Louis, the one I grew up listening to, WGCI in Chicago, and K104 in Dallas. Those are the stations I wanted to work at. This is right after high school. I wrote them a letter. Dear radio stations, my name is Marc. I would love to work for your company. I had no idea you needed to have experience. Yeah, I had the audacity to think that was gonna work. It didn't work. So I went to college, but guess what? 5 years after going to college, I was working at Magic 108 in St. Louis. Because I had the audacity to believe that it's possible. And that audacity, we all have it. We all should have it. But we lose it because the world beats us down. And the world tells us we ain't nothing. And our parents tell us that. And our bosses tell us that. And we believe it. Shit, our kids tell us that. But we have to remember who we are. We got to remember, no matter how damaged you are, you're a human, and a human, let's take it away from even the religious standpoint. Let's take it to the sciences. Your body and who you are, you're worth like $40 million. The human specimen is worth $40 million. So even if you are damaged and were raised terribly and had terrible experiences, you are amazing. Now you throw religion on top of it, and God don't make no junk, you're super amazing. But you got to remember that. Even if you didn't ever think that and you're 70 years old, you have time to live the life you desire. But it starts with you believing and having the audacity and going for it. I was listening to a new app called Clubhouse this morning at 4 a.m. They were having the discussion about religion. Is God real? And I was thinking, you can't really even have that discussion because everybody processes their religion or lack thereof differently. Malik, Marc, I tell my daughter, both in their 20s and college graduates, have the unmitigated gall to go out there, make a difference. Yes, Malik. Amen, brother. Yes, we tell our daughters the same thing. And the biggest challenge, just like talking to grown-ups, is that sometimes they believe you, sometimes they don't. Sometimes people believe you, sometimes they don't, right? It's hard to overcome insecurity. Pinterest. If we can think it and believe it, we can achieve it. The audacity to believe is the motivation to do. Yes. And here's the thing. When we say, I heard somebody say the other day, you can't be a thing if you don't see a thing. I agree, but when you say see, I'm saying see it in your mind's eye. That's why dreaming, visualization, and meditation is so powerful. Because a lot of times, it's not to be seen. There was no Frederick Douglass. There was no Harriet Tubman. You know what I mean? But they saw it in those visions at night. Frederick Douglass, when he looked over the Chesapeake, he knew I'm going to be free one day, or I'm going to die trying. Harriet Tubman, same way. Vision. It's not your sight, it's your vision. Shout out to Dr. Gregory Bell, that's my man. It's not your sight, it's your vision. Visualizing it in your mind. That's the power. That's the power. So this morning when I was listening to that discussion about does God exist, atheism, blah, 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 science, I was like, that goes back to your vision. If you're trying to debunk that there is a greater power than you, go on debunk it. It really doesn't matter because that's like an individual thing, you know? And what I notice in those conversations, it's really all emotion. Even with science, you don't have to prove to anybody what you believe in because it's what you believe in. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I was thinking, I call myself a Christian, but when it got real, when my belief really kicked in, I was in college. Finally, I went to junior college first. Then I went to, what's up, Rokia? I went to SIU Carbondale as a junior, right? And I had Pell Grants and had to pay for it myself. So I get a letter unsuspectedly from the, is it bursar or bursar? Whatever, the office. They said, hey, if you don't pay this $860, you're gonna be kicked out of school. So my mom ain't having no $860. I didn't know nobody that had $860. All I did was say, God, I'm putting it in your hands. Because I remember the minister saying, you can't have faith and worry at the same time. I just put it in God's hand. Okay? All I know is a check came for $860 and I was able to stay. Where did the check come from? I don't know. What organization? I don't know. So for me, what's up, Sydney? For me, that began my relationship with God, Yahweh, Jesus, the universe. And I don't need a name. I don't even have to say Christian. I don't. That's just me. All I know is when I'm, at the end of my rope, when I need a miracle, I just put it in God's hands. Or I put it in the universe's hands. I say, I let go of it. And that's me. That's me. But back to Frederick Douglass, the audacity to speak truth to power in a world where they were trying to catch him, drag him back into slavery. Frederick Douglass didn't care. He had the audacity to believe he had a right to freedom, and he was going to get it. And he did. And he did. Now, hey, Sharon Jackson, here's the thing about Frederick Douglass I had to laugh about. And I said, you know what? I'm doing that too. Because there's a part of me that always wanted to be this dude, and I was, but it's weird how we can let life take us away from stuff. Now, let me tell you, what is it? So, we visited the Frederick, what's up, Reginald? Rokia said, start this as a group Zoom session. Let me know. The group of us should do this together. Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely. Let's do that. Rokia, so join Reinventing on Facebook. And you're right. I'll add that piece. Maybe we all work out together or whatever on Zoom. A designated day. Definitely. I also have another platform I want to introduce y'all to, but Reginald, thank you, sir. Rondi, God will show up. Amen. You put it out there. So we visit the Frederick Douglass estate in Anacostia. This is what I'm talking about. I'm going to get back to, and I vow, because I have the audacity to live the remainder of my life in this mindset. So Frederick Douglass, we already know, was a badass. His life was an example of how to move with the audacity. Freddy Douglass, when they invited him to speak that famous 4th of July speech, what's up, okay? That famous 4th of July speech, and Frederick basically said, what in the hell am I here for? I have no freedom. Why am I here? And they were like, oh, damn, who invited this guy? Frederick Douglass lived a life with that, and moved with that audacity. So, and you guys know the story. When they sent him to the slave breaker as a boy, because he was raised in a compassionate household, they taught him how to read. So they sent him to the slave breaker in his early teens to break him all the way down. This guy was known to break these Africans from wanting to do and wanting to have freedom. So here's the part that I think is deep, and it's so real for all of us, because we've all been there. What's up, Alicia, the warrior? Frederick Douglass goes to the slave breaker, and the slave breaker almost had him. I forgot this part because, you know, the story is they wrestled, and then the slave breaker all of a sudden respected Frederick Douglass. But I forgot in his bios, it was a couple years, and he was right there at the breaking point because the breaker was so savage. Hey, Barbie, thank you. The slave breaker was so savage that he almost had him. I think Frederick was like 19, 20, and he was a broken man. He was beat down. It was almost a wrap. And I imagine when he looked over that chest piece, Frederick, if there was a current songwriter around at that time, he would have had to put on his CD. Because in these moments, we all do it when the lyricist says, after we've done all we can, after we've done all we can. What do we do, y'all? What do we do? We just stand. What? Stand. So, you know, Frederick was standing. He was looking at the chest speak like, I'm almost out of here. Should I end it all? But then all of a sudden, that spirit hit him. He's like, hell no. I am Frederick Douglass, baby. Oh no, he ain't gonna break me. He ain't gonna break me. Right, Paula? He ain't gonna break me. Frederick got motivated, escaped, and the rest is history. What? But we've all been there, right at the brink. And I remember, for me, back to the religion thing, for me, what I notice in life is when I'm right there, the wine said it best. It'll be all over in the morning. Every time, y'all, every time I'm almost there, I give it a day, give it a couple days, and I'm good. So boom, Frederick regained the audacity and went out and changed the world, rewrote history. He changed not only his life, but the whole world. And we all have that same power, not just to change your life and your family's life, the whole world, because we all have it. The audacity, it's in us. Sometimes we forget who we are. Shout out to my friend Anthony Horn. He saw me in a situation that was messed up. And he said, what's up, Tiffany? He said, yeah, Mark, it was cool. You did all right. But dude, you forgot you're Marc freaking Clark. Okay? Hey, Barbie. Yes. Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you something. Allison is very private. But I'm going to tell you this real quick. Don't tell her I told you. This made me, I already marveled at and idolized Donnie Simpson. But when she talked to Donnie after she left Fox, and Donnie said, hey, you are Allison Seymour, and don't you ever forget it. Woo! I was like, nothing else to say. Because, you know, you can say that as a husband, but when Donnie Simpson tells it to you, come on now. I love him for that. Forever. So, my story's long today, y'all. Frederick Douglass. Hey, Tracy. We go to visit Frederick Douglass's house in Anacostia. Now, he moved to that house, you know, with his white wife, no disrespect. That's another topic. Leave Freddy alone. Come on, Paula. Come on, Paula. You know it. First thing I noticed, or if you go to that house in Anacostia, they have some rings by the tree. You know, those rings that gymnasts use. Frederick Douglass, moving into the house, early 60s, rings. And all of a sudden I had a visual. Frederick Douglass hanging from them rings. And you know, that takes a lot of strength. You hang from the rings, pull yourself up, put your legs in front of you, do them pull-ups, put your feet down, get them lats in. Frederick was getting it in his 60s. So I was like, maybe that was just for the grandkids. But then, when we went in the house and saw the little barbells in the bedroom, Frederick Douglass in his 60s was getting it in. One more set. Why? Kiss the guns. Frederick Douglass had the audacity, and he was ready. Why was he ready? Because he was always ready. Because this world is always coming after you. And then when them slavers try to come up here, they're going to catch these guns. I know I'm in my 60s. Because Frederick had the audacity to live the life that he dreamed of. And we all have that same right. We all have that same gift. We just got to activate it. Sometimes, you know, the pressures, again, your family, your friends, your job, food, alcohol, weed, crack, heroin, it gets in the way and we lose it. Or because of fear, we never had it. But we're going to get it today. Again, back to Frederick Douglass lifting them dumbbells. And the crazy part is, go see it. I'm like, Frederick Douglass is in there lifting weights? Frederick Douglass is in there, one more set. And it got me fired up. You know, craziest part is, after seeing it, I was fired up. I was fired up for like a day. But then Malik, I slipped back into myself. I was fired up. I'm like, if Frederick Douglass is in there getting it in, what am I doing? And then, of course, I slipped back into my normal, but not anymore. Not again, right? Not again. We got this. Join me in the group, y'all. Let's get it popping for 2021. Reinventing you. All right? Have a good one. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Hey, hey, hey. All right, Alicia.